Hello. 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 Good morning. Hello. Um this is the Jeff Solo show, the Thursday show. We got no rules. We're just here causing a ruckus. Um we ran our ads. We're here, it's a little late. 9:11 a.m. here on Dork Duck Daily, the daily show with all the news you nerd. And then on Thursdays, this is going to be a show that rolls into um, me doing solo video game streaming stuff, but will not today because it's I this 64 stream has become the most cursed thing in the world, and today I've got to take a cat to the. It doesn't matter when I set up the time for that stream. It gets life finds a way to like come through. And like Selena was like, this cat needs to go to the vet. And I was like, okay. And I called this morning. And every single time I've called, like even when we had a cat who was like literally dying last year, I was like, hey, call the vet. And it's always like, as soon as we can get you in is like tomorrow. So I made the phone call fully expecting to have to rearrange the day tomorrow. And they're like, actually, we have a cancellation today, right? Right when you need to be. I was like, that sounds great. I would love to mess my schedule up. Thank you. So we'll be doing this show. We'll wrap this show up at around 10:30 ish, probably 10:40 ish. Um, and then call it a day till we come back and do the co-stream tonight. Will that be enough ad revenue for you, Mr. Bezos? He says it's fine. So I think we're good. Um and we can do this kind of different plan schedule for today and be all right. Um Apologies, at some point, my life will fit more into a schedule. I don't know when that is because both times I've tried to be. The thing with the 64 ranking all of them at this point is like I knew even when I was putting it in this place in the schedule, and it's not the safest place to put it, but it's the safest place I can put it, and I I know me and everything is like kind of wired and at a point where it's like I should just the easiest thing to do would be like, well, I guess I'm done. But we've made it. If we were in like the B's or the C's or the D's, I could maybe set that show down and be like, all right, okay, we did it. We are at this point rounding into the S's, and then it's like once you're on the other side of the S's, you're kind of done, right? Like there's not you're over the last like big like hurdle of like um man, there's a lot of things here. So it's like at that point, like we're pretty, we're in the very deep into the back half of that list of being able to say, yeah, we played and ranked every Nintendo 64 game. And so even though it seems cursed, we're gonna stick to this format for a while. Um, Week one it went okay-ish, but tried to get canceled. This week it's getting canceled. We'll try again for next week, and we'll see what we have to do to keep that dream alive of ranking Nintendo 64 games. It's a silly dream, but it's ours, and we'll make it all work. Um, but yeah, so like today, probably about like 10:30 ish, we'll wrap things up. In order to go and do a vet appointment. Um uh We don't just cover planning vet appointments on the show, though. We also cover all the newsy nerd in a whole segment that we like to call the Daily Quack. Why did that? Okay, let me try that again. The whole segment we like to call the Daily Quack. We got news. We like to cover it. Let's go. Undertale. Right. Oh, Shiki. I'm gonna flip the news because you're here for this. We'll do the Undertale story in a second. Good morning, Shiki. Sarah Michelle Gellar says Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot is moving quicker than expected. This is from Eric Diaz over at Nerdist. Buffy news indeed. Yeah. For a long time, Sarah Michelle Gellar has denied any desire to return to her role as the Chosen One. Buffy and Summers, but recently Gellar said she might be interested thanks to the success of legacy sequels like Dexter Original Sin, in which she stars. By the way, this is Eric Diaz at Nerdist. I don't know if I said that part. Now it's official. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is coming back to stake the undead in a new sequel series reboot from Hulu. Via Variety, we've learned that the pilot has an official order from Nora Zuckerman and Leela Zuckerman. The former Poker Face showrunners will write, showrun, and executive produce. Oscar winner Chloe Zhao is attached to direct and executive produce the Buffy reboot. However, that's likely just for the pilot episode. Lena, hello. Lena. No, it's okay. I can help with it. I said I would. Gellar continues to give updates about the Buffy reboot, saying that things are moving forward nicely. We've set up our offices, which means things are progressing probably faster than I anticipated, Gellar told People. But it's going to be a process, I think. To do it the way it needs to be done, everyone has to be patient with all of us because this isn't something that will just happen. Pancake is, I mean, that's why we're wrapping up here at 10:30 and then going to the bed at 11 or like 10:40ish, probably. Depends on the day. Pancake is okay-ish, but we're taking her in to make sure she's okay. Possible she has a UTI thing. So, I was saying this morning, I called the vet expecting them to be like, okay, here's the appointment for tomorrow. And they were like, hey, we have a cancellation. You can come right in today. So there won't be ranking of 64 games today, but we will survive. And at some point, I will get through that list. it's moving along. The Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot sequel series will focus on the new Slayer. Although the series will still use the title Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Buffy sequel series will focus on a new Slayer. Gellar will appear in a recurring role rather than leading the reboot series. The original Buffy the Vampire series finale in 2003 ended with girls all over the world activating their Slayer powers. So there will now be a generation of Slayers who might need Buffy Summers, the Prime Slayer, as their mentor. We could easily see that as a premise of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot series. We'll just have to see to know for sure, though. Sarah Michelle Gellar will absolutely return as Buffy Summers. Although she may not be the main character anymore, Sarah Michelle Gellar will always be the main character in the hearts of Buffy fans, and we're so glad that Gellar will return as Buffy Summers in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot sequel series. We couldn't have done it without her. Sarah Michelle Gellar recently spoke out on her Instagram about returning as the iconic character. Here the message is both heartfelt and gorgeous, focusing on how right the reboot is for Gellar, Buffy fans in the world of Buffy Summers. We read all that when it first got announced. One name you'll notice not attached is that of original Buffy creator and showrunner Joss Whedon. Womp womp. Once upon a time, the notion of a Whedonless Buffy series without its creative voice would have been blasphemous, but in the last few years, Whedon's name has become toxic. Several of his former Buffy cast, as well as several Justice League cast members, have accused him of running an unpleasant set, to say the least. Regardless, as the series creator, he'll probably have some form of check for the series, even if he has no creative involvement anymore. Additionally, except for Sarah Michelle Gellar's exciting return, we have no confirmation about the former cast members or writers coming on board Buffy the Vampire Slayer sequel series. We expect a lot more news on this. Yeah, I'm excited about all of this. I kind of like the idea of her in like a Giles type role. Hello, Mello. Sam says Joss Whedon not helping at all is the best news of the day. Hello, Sam. Hello. It's okay. It's okay, Lena. I asked. I can ask him again. Mr. Bezos, is it okay if we cut the stream early today? He says it's fine. He's getting lots of ad revenue. We'll be okay. It's fine. It's good. Undertale breaks stream concurrent player record nearly a decade after release. Undertale, the beloved indie RPG by Toby Fox, has reached a new milestone nearly 10 years after its initial release. This is by guy staff over at... Oh, sorry. This is for Game Infinitus staff at Game Infinitus. They shoved it all together to the point that I thought that was somebody's name. It looks like this. It says by GI staff. But that just means people that work there. And I would like them to actually name the people so I could give them credit, but okay. Undertale, the beloved indie RPG by Toby Fox, has reached a new milestone nearly 10 years after its initial release. The game recently set an all-time concurrent player record on Steam, surpassing its previous peak from 2015. This resurgence in popularity highlights the enduring appeal of Undertale, which continues to captivate both longtime fans and newcomers. On Steam, Undertale reached a peak of 11,000 concurrent players, exceeding its previous record of 10,473, set in December 2015. This is a notable achievement as the game has not surpassed 5,000 concurrent players since 2016. The recent increase in player numbers shows Undertale remains relevant and continues to draw a dedicated audience. A key factor behind this resurgence is Steam's Spring Sale, which has discounted Undertale to just 99 cents, or 0.69 pounds. This significant price drop has introduced the game to a new wave of players, many of whom are experiencing its unique gameplay and storytelling for the first time. The sale runs until March 20th, meaning the player count could continue to rise before the event ends. Sam says, damn, that's a great deal. That's an incredible deal for one of the best video games ever made. Which I think in total was like just a $10 or $20 game anyways. It's not like it's Undertale's a crazy expensive game. But yeah, that'll do it. Making one of the best games ever, only 99 cents. Since its release in 2015, Undertale has received widespread acclaim. The game holds a Metacritic score of 92 to 93 across various platforms. It's sold an estimated 5 to 13 million copies on Steam alone. Sam says, how is Undertale already 10? Its time is insane. In its addition to its presence on PC, Undertale is available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation Vita, further solidifying its status as a landmark indie title. I didn't know there was a version of it on Vita. That fucking rules. That's a great console to play that on. I love it. At least it's gonna be lurking BRB. That's always allowed. I think there's even a little thing you dip. Yeah, you can do that. Also, you can always do this. Do the dad joke command. And what has 5 toes but isn't your foot? I don't like that one. I think I put that one in just specifically to annoy Selena, and she's not even here to be annoyed by it. Inspired by classic RPGs like Nintendo's Mother series and Malcolm's Brandish, Undertale has built a devoted global fan base. Its popularity is especially strong in Japan, where it was influential enough to earn a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate crossover featuring a Sans costume. The game's unique mechanics, memorable characters, and emotional storytelling have cemented its place in gaming history. Undertale always reminds me I need to play through OFF. I don't know what OFF is. Just off? I'm struggling with that sentence. I'm sorry. Fox's continued work in this universe suggests the legacy Undertale will persist for years to come. Off, Jeff. It's the title of a game. There's a game called Off? OnlyFans Fest, obviously. Thank you. I needed that help. Hey, if you'd like to watch Lena's first playthrough of Undertale, it's all there. Over on our YouTube. Recently hit 50 subscribers at YouTube. It's a happening over there. Also, I put a lot of work into that place. It's an old indie PC game. Off. Stylized in all caps is a 2008 role-playing game developed, published by Belgian team Unproductive Fun Time, consisting of Martin Dioris, Mortis Ghost, and Elias Conrad Goldwood. It's about an enigmatic humanoid entity known as the Batter. It is described as being on a sacred mission to purify the world of Off. Oh. This does look very Undertale. This looks almost exactly like Undertale. A lot of baseball. Similar to games you've played, Undertale. It's apparently coming to Steam in 2025. An old indie PC game, Sam says pre-Undertale. It's not even on Steam, or maybe it's not pre-Undertale then. I thought it was. I really thought it was before 2018. Oh, and it's on Steam now. I literally have an EXE from before this was on Steam. Yeah, it came out in 2008, so it was pre-Undertale. Yeah, I'm gonna need to check that out. 2008, yeah. Came out in 2008. A A large fan base for the game developed on Tumblr. Off became the 6th most rebought game of 2013. Sims is really funky. I played the start years ago. That looks like my kind of shit. And yeah, it's getting a Steam release sometime this year. Cool. Lego Pokemon sets are arriving in 2026 finally. Oh my goodness. Are you going to make a lot of money with people buying and shipping those? Yeah, Mr. Bezos is very happy. This is from Rodom Rusak over at Nerdist, who says, "You've heard of catching them all. Now get ready to build them all, because Pokemon Lego sets are finally coming your way. A leaked video seemed to hint something big was on the horizon. But now we have official confirmation. Lego announced that it will be collaborating with Pokemon on a number of sets, the first of which will be released in 2026. But that will only be the start, because this collaboration between Lego and Pokemon is a multi-year partnership. And that means we'll have plenty of time to build up our Lego Pokedex. Lego Pokemon sets will arrive in 2026. I guess there's a thing." Okay. That was it. That little video, and then like a whole bunch of different corporate CEOs went like, "Oh my god, the brand synergy!" Oh! and nerds wept, and it's a thing. People are excited. I wish I was like just joking, but it was just like that. This was all I saw on social media. After it was announced 2 days ago, which is like after we did the morning show, and it was announced, and it was just like everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's finally happening!" And I don't want to be out here yucking anybody's yums. Like I'm happy that people are happy. Sam says this news actually makes me kind of sad. Yeah. I think that's a more accurate response myself. But, that I know a lot of people that are losing their minds excited and happy about this, and I don't want to be out here ruining their good time in the middle of a rough year for all of us. So like, if they Shiki says, "OMG, plastic building Pokemon, OMG." Yeah. Sam says that other brand having the Pokemon license was like the only thing keeping Lego from a complete monopoly. Yeah. That's the thing, Shiki. Plastic building Pokemon existed before. It just didn't exist at the big guys. And it's fine. You guys have heard me rant about Lego a billion times. And how I personally feel that brand has been mishandled. But obviously I am wrong if the measure is like how much money can you make, how much corporate synergy can you make. They're doing real well with all that. Numbers going up. He says, "Oh, I know. I meant to say plastic on brand Pokemon, but I was trying to go to sleep in Stardew before I passed out." Fair enough. That should be studied. Like, in all of these games, like, Cheeky, Lena, Sam, and I are all people that play our fair share of spooky games. They're made to raise tension, but there's nothing scary or more terrifying than that like Stardew, like, oh my god. You're watching that clock go up and you're just like, ah, ah, that slow walk from the mine all the way back to your house. It's terrifying. It's so stressful. Sam says, I disagree. Sonic drowning theme. Sonic drowning theme's pretty bad. Especially in Sonic 2 in the second world, because that chemical zone I always felt 10 times worse with him drowning. It's just like that's not good. Even if he survives, this is not great. Yes, that is Pikachu's tail coming together out of Lego bricks and sending sparks into the air. And we're obsessed, says Rotom Rusak of Nerdist. We don't know too much about the partnership between Lego and Pokemon will bring us yet, but we do know that it's building our Pokemon will be a treat. There's a company we can trust to get all the details exactly right. It's Lego. And the Pokemon Company agrees. Gaku Susai, Chief Product and Experience Officer at the Pokemon Company International, notes, the Lego Group and Pokemon have strong shared values of imagination, creativity, and fun. That's not the only shared value. They want that fucking money. That's their shared value. There should be like, we should just make it illegal for CEOs to speak. It's not like they say anything real anyways. They should just like be outlawed from speaking publicly for like even a day. Give us a day of where no CEO or some puppet of a CEO can't come out and be like, we're all about family. They're all about money. They don't give two fucks about imagination, creativity, and fun. If they did, all of their companies would be structured very differently. Shiki says they should have to donate to an actually altruistic charity before they could speak. I like that. Yeah. You buy time for me to have to listen to your corporate drivel by paying into an actual charity. That's a much better system. Good Lord. The Lego Group and Pokemon Group have strong shared values of imagination, creativity, and fun, making this a perfect partnership to deliver unique, meaningful, and engaging ways for trainers to experience the Pokemon brand. Working with the best-in-class team at the Lego Group and seeing their dedication and passion for the project has culminated in an innovative and groundbreaking collaboration that will surprise and delight fans. We cannot wait to see both Lego fans and the Pokemon community's reactions in 2026. Sam says, they're all about family. Read family's money, baby. Finger guns. Pew, pew, pew. Lee says, in college, so muted, but I love you. You, dude. Yeah, we love you, Lindsay. Thanks for the views. I appreciate it. Lena appreciates it. And our beloved overlord, Mr. Jeff Bezos. Do you appreciate it? He appreciates it too. He's so excited. He's going to make so much money with people shipping Lego sets all over the world. Is shipping plastic your favorite? I'm sorry, shipping expensive plastic is his favorite. He's very thrilled. So far, LEGO hasn't given us any specifics about the kind of sets we can expect from this collaboration with Pokemon, but the teaser trailer for the partnership obviously suggests LEGO Pikachu will be in the mix of the 2026 releases. We really hope we get a super extravagant Pikachu build that's 1,000 pieces at least, if not more. Maybe some cool light bricks could make cheeks glow with electric power. Okay. After that, the sky is basically the limit. There are 151 Pokemon Lego can choose from, and a total of 1,025 Pokemon out there as the time of this writing. or if you count regional forms, Mega Evolutions, and Gigantamax Pokemon. Personally, I voted for a Lego Mew, but Eevee is always a crowd pleaser. So we bet we'll see that Pokemon in a Lego set before long, maybe with a few of its evolutions as build options. Tiki says Jeff is playing the Bezos voice so much, I'm going to think Chewbacca is going to burst through the wall like the Kool-Aid man. I don't know what you're talking about. He's here. I'm not playing anything. They think you're not here, Jeff. I would be upset too. You work very hard. I mean, kind of. Not as hard as the rest of us, but you kind of do. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to imply anything. I'm sorry. You guys are wonderful. Oh, this Lego story does make me sad. Why haven't there been Lego Pokemon sets before? On the Lego Pokemon landing page, in the facts and questions asked, has Lego Group ever made a Pokemon set? And the answer is, we can't say that we have, no. But in 2026, the answer to that question will be totally different. And that's because Pokemon and Mattel have had a long-running exclusive deal which let Mattel's Mega Bloks corner the Pokemon building market. Fan reaction to Pokemon Mega Bloks is that it is just has been a fine experience. Some really don't like the builds, but most just feel they were okay, just not spectacular. In any case, it seems like that exclusive deal is up now, freeing Pokemon to either leave behind Mattel Mega Bloks altogether, or at the very least diversify into Lego as well. We're pretty sure Lego's offerings will be spectacular and as electrifying as the teaser trailer promises. What the fuck is this? Like is I was there at the start of Nerdist.com. I know people that got to like write for the site. I was trying to at that time, and I didn't make it. But it was a place that was like built out of like genuine like, hey, we like this shit. This article seems like Lego wrote it itself, or at the very least, some dude from Lego is just like, okay, man, now say this, while he. What the fuck is this article? There's nothing to this teaser. It's literally just Pikachu's tail. You're gonna give me 30 paragraphs about how excited this dumb piece of shit commercial makes you? It's a fucking commercial. Like, it's a good teaser of like if you're someone who cares about these two things and like you're like, oh my god, I was hoping there'd be Pokemon. Like, yeah, Sam says, I think this writer needs to stop sucking Lego's overpriced dick for a minute. Exactly. Yeah, bootlicking at its finest. This is fucking insane. And I know, like, all internet journalism is basically broken at this point. And all these places have to stoop to just, like, you know, the advertising money's not there like it used to be. And so they have to do whatever this is, which is basically just advertising writing. But then they also have to do, like, a whole bunch of, like, affiliate ads within articles. And so you'll have, like, articles that, like, completely break down structure of, like, a good well-written article to like all of a sudden come out of left field to be like, well, we all know this happened. Click this link, click this link, click this link. Oh my god, click this link. We make money if you click this link. Tiki says, like, feel free to be excited, but that was a nothing yeah. I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, like, Nerdist itself was something that was like kind of indicative of the best and worst of nerd culture in the 2010s. which was this weird like cult like status for nerdery. But there was good work being done there, and I think in the early days of Nerdist, you would have seen an article like this talk about like it. There would be recognition of the enthusiasm, while at the same time being like, we're really excited, but like, man, this is like no information, but it's kind of crazy that they don't have to give us any information and we're that excited about it. Like, they would like lampshade it. They would like acknowledge it. I don't know what the fuck is happening to this world anymore. It's stressing me out, man. It's crazy. But enough on the big plastic Pokemon nonsense things. Can't find that. I'll just wrap up a little. Sam says, I finished putting in the new flower bed. Not bled. Got the stick borders all around it. Now we just need to get some plants. Nice. I need to do something with our flower bed out front. We have a nice one. And so yeah, we should do something with it. All right, the big story of the day. Video game workers launch industry-wide union with Communications Workers of America. This is from the official Communication Workers of America page. Sam says, hell yeah, I agree. Hell yeah. Today, in a historic development for video games organizing, workers across the U.S. and Canada are launching United Video Game Workers CWA Local 9433, a direct join industry-wide video game union with the Communication Workers of America. In partnership with the American Federation of Musicians, the launch will be formally announced at the 2025 Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, California, the world's largest industry event for video game professionals, where workers will be joined by other CWA members to launch this powerful new organization. This was already a long time coming. It cracks me up because it's just like, and you see this historically over and over and over again, right? Where it's like, people are inherently pretty lazy, just on the whole. Good morning, Nix. And you don't have to do much to appease them to keep them from unionizing. Isn't that right, Mr. Bezos? He agrees. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, usually if you just give people a steady job and not too many problems, and they can mostly kind of pay their bills, quite often they won't then do the extra work. Even if they're being exploited, they won't do the extra work. And it's like, the fucking people at the top, they just can't help themselves. They push it and push it and push it and get it to a point that it's like, well, of course. Of course. We've been doing this show for a year. How many shows have we gotten to come on the show and not just sit and read about fucking video game layoffs over and over and over again? It's happened at least 2 or 3 times a week. This show had to be about that. Like, in what world wouldn't they be unionizing on you guys? Like, you're not taking care of them. You're not even taking care of them to the basic low-level degree that you're making the work of unionizing feel like less work than dealing with you fuckers. And like, that's That's insane. But good on them. Like they should have had this. They should have done this years ago. This logo that says "We're done playing" it fucking rules. I love it. I love this. 10 out of 10. This needs to happen. UVW CWA builds off the unprecedented mobilization following the Game Developers Conference in 2018, which served as a launching pad for the creation of Game Workers Unite, an international grassroots organization dedicated to labor organizing in the industry. The launch of UVW CWA also coincides with the 5th anniversary of Code CWA, which has helped over 6,500 tech and video game workers organize to join the union since 2020. Sam says it's wild how many people buy into anti-union propaganda. Yeah, and I think it's Sam says like no company has ever given safety/benefits to workers unless they had to, and they only had to because of the old wave of unions. Yeah. Well, it's that basic concept of like it's impossible to bargain effectively individually. You have to bargain as a big collective unit. And it's not to say that like unions can't bring with themselves bad too. That's the thing is like every change, every organization, everything like brings about a mix of good and bad. And I think they're very good at like highlighting the bad that unions can bring and then like using that as a be like, see, they're not perfect. And it's like nothing in life is fucking perfect. Like you're right. There are things about unions that create problems that weren't there pre-union. That is 100% correct. But look at all the problems they fucking fix. Sam says my mom genuinely thinks union leaders just take advantage of workers and that they get nothing done for anyone, like all union leaders. We wouldn't have the 40-hour work week though without unions. Like we wouldn't have the concept of a weekend without unions. And if these last handful of years have taught us anything, it's just like or child labor laws, yeah. If these last handful of years have taught us anything, is that a lot of things that we take for granted can go backwards. So it is actually really important that we have these things. And now that they've taken a lot of things that were just jobs and turned them into independent contractors and everything else, they need to, people more than ever need to unionize. But like they do things like, you look at how bad it's gotten to be a teacher in this country. And I remember talking to teachers 20, 30 years ago, and they had agreements as teacher unions that they weren't allowed to strike. And it's like, okay, well, if you're not allowed to strike, if you're not allowed to show them what it's like to live without your labor, you don't have teeth, and they know that. And then they make it about like, well, it's about the kids. And it's like, no, it's not. It's about you want to exploit us. It's very frustrating. The creation of this union was not done in isolation. It's a cumulative effort by the thousands of video game workers who have been fighting for years to redefine what it means to stand together and reclaim power in one of the largest and highest grossing industries on the globe. The Tom Smith, CWA's Senior Director of Organizing. These workers are taking a bold stand, joining together to build power for the workers behind the games we all know and love. As part of the United Video Game Workers CWA launch, Members will be gathering signatures for a petition demanding dignity and job security for all video game workers, particularly those facing layoffs. The video game industry is one of the fastest growing entertainment industries in the world, with huge revenue increases in recent years. Across the industry, over 10,500 jobs were lost in 2023. An additional 14,600 jobs were lost in 2024, according to the GDC 2025 State of the Game Industry. More than 10% of the surveyed game developers reported being laid off in 2024. Over 30 studios have laid off their entire staff and were closed by their parent companies, including some of the largest and most profitable corporations like Microsoft and Sony Interactive Entertainment. Our mission is to take back our lives, our labor, and our passion from those who treat us like replaceable cogs. To empower our fellow workers to link up arms with the laid off, with the freelancer, with the disillusioned contractor, with the disenfranchised and the marginalized, with the workers laboring invisibility to keep this industry afloat, reads UVW CWA's mission statement. We're going to create a game industry that works for us, one that nourishes its talent and invests in its future rather than constantly seeking short-term profits. We are the ones that make the games, so we must be the ones that set the terms of how we work. Yeah. Fucking right on. Because it's ridiculous. And then watching some of these stories we've had to watch unfold over the last year or two makes it 10 times like the Destiny thing, where that guy turns out was like a colossal sex pest. We don't like him. He's not good. But like over the course of that story, we watched that guy to protect his control of that company within a company when Sony bought it. He like laid off like the entire team, some of which had been with Bungie for like 20, 30 years. The guy that did all of Bungie's music for like decades lost his job so a sex pest could maintain control. And I know that's like a one-off crazy story, but like those people should be protected from weird shit like that happening. Or when they staff up like crazy to get a game shipped, and then, because you can't, God forbid, when Ellie in The Last of Us goes to like augment her gun that just happened in a menu. No, we have to sit and painstakingly animate all of every single inch of that, which is fine. Like, it's fine. It's fine if you want to do that. It's fine if that's your vision, but you can't like hire all those people up and then like fire them and like not have any kind of just stable life for those people on the other side of it all. And it's like, you also get like the concept of crunch and everything, that it's like, it was bad enough when there was this concept of crunch and we're doing it all for the team guys, and it's fine. You guys should all be here. You guys should all be seeing your families and everything else, because we got to get this. We're all in this together. We got to get this game out the door. And that was already toxic and not great. And I have to really safeguard myself and like really, because it's like my brain works that way. My brain still thinks a lot of these things as art, and still thinks a lot of these things as show business, and still has a lot of just like, show's got to go on. Let's go. We got to get it done to make it work. I got Tim Gunn's words in my brain. Make it work, right? And that should be the general attitude of everyone, right? But that's already toxic in itself. But you had all these people doing that and then getting fired on the other end of it. It's bad out there. See also all these people that do similar things but work for, Marvel Studios. It's bad out there. UCW CWA joins a list of several other historic union campaigns with CWA that have organized within direct join organizing model, including United Campus Workers, CWA, Texas State Employees Union, CWA Local 6186, Alphabet Workers Union, CWA. Direct join organizing, sometimes referred to as pre-majority unionism, enables workers, including freelancers and the thousands of video game workers who were laid off in recent years, to build power across the industry without the obstacles and delays that employers can impose during the traditional union certification process. It also makes it easier for workers to address shared concerns beyond just one video game studio. UVW CWA will include video game workers across the United States and Canada, as well as the video game freelancers, indie developers, workers who are currently unemployed, and workers who are already organizing their workplaces. The formation of United Video Game Workers CWA is an exciting next step in our union's work to help video game workers build power in the industry. The CWA president, Claude Cummings Jr., as video game studios have consolidated, the workers whose creativity, dedication, and skill bring the games to life have become more of an afterthought. They're subject to endless cycles of layoffs and rehiring as corporate executives pursue short-term profits at the excuse of a sustainable future. Video game workers and musicians in the United States, Canada, who are interested in becoming members can apply. You can follow them. There's a link to follow the union and their efforts on Blue Sky. Looks like this. Go ahead and click that follow button. Yeah, that fucking rules. More of that, please. And it's I don't know, man. How do you feel, Mr. Bezos, about people unionizing? We do have a dissenting opinion. I don't know. My worry and my problem here is that all this stuff is only as good as, like, if we start there starts to be union projects and non-union projects. Jesus, sorry, Mr. Bezos, I don't care about your opinion here. We have to make sure we do our part. And if there starts to be union projects and non-union projects, we have to start going like, yeah, I'm not playing and I'm not streaming that new Star Wars game. I'm sorry. But they chose to not acknowledge the union and not using, like, that. They need that from our end too. Sam put it, solidarity. Yep. At some point they are going to ask that of us. And I will say, the video game community is a bit spotty when it comes to that. It's like once something gets in their craw, like, we're good at, like, not buying something sometimes, but it's like it's always the weirdest version of that. Sam said, also on topic, reminder, the video game VA strike is still active, I think. I believe it is. And I think that is one that is... Yeah, it's been going since July 26, 2024. But you also, like, the thing is, it takes so long for games to develop that we're not seeing much impact yet Here's the impact section of the Wikipedia page. In December 2024, League of Legends said that their skins would temporarily lack custom voiceovers, and it said previously recorded bass voiceovers would be used in English due to the strike. The same arrangement is also used in the League of Legends Wild Rift in case a voice actor for that game opts not to record in solidarity with the strike. The planned release of Hideo Kojima's games OD and Physint were also announced to be delayed due to the strike. In January 2025, Bungie announced that some voiceover content in the upcoming Destiny 2 expansion episode Heresy would be missing as a result of the strike. To compensate, they plan to enable subtitles by default for players and provide warnings when attempting to launch affected content. Sam said they struck deals with certain studios, but I think they are still striking others. Yeah, I don't know that I personally, we can go a while with no new video games coming out with voice acting and let them just keep striking. It's so hard. Like, I'm sure there's internal pressure too of like, please give us studios we can work at. We still need to work and eat. But this is why you need like a really strong base of that's able to pay people to strike, right? There needs to be, these unions need to be built up to a point where it's just like, hey, if you if we need to go to strike, we got you. We got you covered. Also, in between projects, we got you covered with Sam says, well, that's what you pay into unions. You have mutual fund to keep the workers paid while strike. Yeah, exactly. This, also needs to happen with wrestlers and comic book creators also very much wildly, which is two industries that I'm fairly intimate with, very much more so on the comic book side, but that's also areas that need to definitely have some sort of union structure. And it's like it's not a crazy concept. Like, I don't fully understand. Like, and it's not, and people are like, oh, does Todd McFarlane need more money? I hear he might even fucking buy Diamond. Like, what the fuck did Todd McFarlane do? It's like, it's not to protect the Todd McFarlanes of the world. It's to protect two groups of people. It's to protect the guy who was famous 20, 30 years ago and is no longer famous today, and not in a way where he can like, he was comic book famous. He was a guy who people whose names are Jeff Connolly know of. Like, it's not someone who's like, oh my God. You want a union not just to like fight to like make sure people are protected, but you also want a union so that there is structure for these artists in between projects, in between everything. So there's a safety net for them. The amount of like, we could probably, for old retired comic book artists and writers, we could probably do a GoFundMe a day. I could find one out there for you and not lose content for a long time, because there's one going on right now for fucking Peter David, who's one of the most like storied writers in comic books, one of the most storied writers in Star Trek fiction, with like, he's responsible for so much of my childhood, and there's a GoFundMe going on for him right now because it's like, we don't have structures to take care of these people. And so much about unions comes down to like these fights between these corporations and the artists and people like bitching back and forth, like how much money do like actors need, blah 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 blah. How much money do comic artists need, blah 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 blah. And it's like I care way less about the exploitation of their labor in the current time than I do that the other very important thing that unions does, which is like, hey, here's how you get health insurance. Here's how you keep health insurance when you're retired. We got you. You won't have to go 30. Hey, you're selling comic books now. 30 years from now, when you're going through shit, you're not going to have to run a GoFundMe. We got you taken care of. And that's more than anything why all these artist groups need this structure, need these unions, and why we as consumers need to be very like very concerned and like look twice at things that avoid the union workers, and we need to be championing it. And you know, I fucking love wrestling. I love it. You know why I watch a lot less wrestling right now? I'll probably tune in for some of the John Cena heel stuff. You know, a big piece of why I'm not like, oh my god. It's like a lot of the magic is killed for me because it's I've had to see and watch the back end of that, of how we treat our wrestlers 30 years from now who aren't named John Cena. It's bad. We don't take care of these people. And if piece of shit Hulk Hogan wouldn't have stopped them from unionizing, they would be taken care of. Sam says that's why you pay into unions. You have a mutual fund to keep the workers paid while striking, so unions with finances managed well would be able to sustain them for a while. Yeah. Yeah. And to have a safety net in between projects, and like to have like a network of and the union, not every union is created equal. SAG-AFTRA is one of the really good ones, right? And you hear stories of just like oh yeah, this is the minimal you need to do to keep your SAG health insurance, and like there's projects that exist largely so that people can get that one SAG credit and keep their SAG card, and you know it's a thing. And then you read about really really great directors like, you know, the late David Lynch, who would build that into his projects, like making sure that he could take care of people and keep their cards going. It's it's wild to me that like this take is so controversial, but it is. The only good thing that we'll see from this like prolonged crazy period of like lots of layoffs and stuff that we've had to deal with over the last year or so is that I do think we're going to get an absolute boom in like beautiful, amazing, and compelling indie games over the next I think they'll start hitting probably end of this year, early next year. But it's just going to be an onslaught for probably 3 or 4 straight years, as all these people that Microsoft decided it didn't need and Sony decided it didn't need. Those people are all artists, right? And artists don't stop making art. And I think we're gonna get some really cool shit. And I fucking hate that this is how it has to happen. But I do think we're gonna get some cool shit for a while. I'm gonna wrap things up so I can go help find a pet carrier and bring a cat to the vet. Please check out our YouTube channel. We put a lot of work into it. We're at 50 subscribers now. Thank you guys so much for helping us get there. Also, Whatnot. Sam says, honestly, I don't know how people trust any big companies anymore. Secure jobs feel like a myth now, so I hope people are able to focus on their passions moving forward. Same. That's the debate I've gotten into, I don't know how many people with, when I've tried to encourage people to switch to my roller coaster instead, which is its own roller coaster of insecurity. Don't get me wrong, but it's like corporate jobs don't really feel secure. There's a link to Whatnot. Click that link. They'll give you $15 to buy from us or someone else. If you're not interested in buying comics from us, that's fine. If you click that link, they'll still give us a kickback if you go buy like retro video games somewhere or something with it. And they're a corporation. Click that link, buy a free retro video game from someone, make their day, and then cancel your Whatnot thing, and then you're fine. And then all you've paid is some shipping. We get a little kickback, and it's all good. Do that. Tim says, thanks for the stream. Have a good day. I hope the vet stuff goes well. Me too. I think it should be fine. I'm just trying to be a good partner, and it's always rough because it's like I'm not someone who, one, would have called the vet in this particular scenario in the first place, or two, would have like rearranged the schedule for it, and that's just not. But I'm also, I did grow up in like a high functioning house, so like I always have to gauge everything by that. But it's just, I'd be like, oh, that's weird, and I would move on with my day. But I have to be a good partner, and sometimes being a good partner is like, not being the crotchety asshole that's just like, it's fine. Sam says, I don't go to the doctor unless I'm dying, so I get it. Yeah, same. Being a good partner is there. Good. Go be there for her. That's the plan. Did I do all the things? I think I did most of the things. We have raid messages. They look like this. This. Sound. Hi to someone real quick. I said I will bouncing though. Say hi to Pixel. I haven't said hi to him in a minute, so we'll head over there. Thank you so much, everyone. Be honest, be kind, people. Fucking lie. We'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock. Doing the co-stream.